Hello again. We're here. I'm joined by my friend again, Alex. We're doing another review of a match day. This time after beating Valladolid 4-2. Um, very frustrating game. I think I, for all of every I think anybody who saw this match day would have thought, yeah, this should be an easy game for Atletico. If you were an Atletico fan or not. Valladolid had lost 10 of their last 11 games, came into it with maybe 3 goals in their last 6. Not really anything particularly special. And Atletico finally got their recent win against Sevilla, looking like they're about to hit a bounce, and then very frustrating experience. Let's say I'll repeat myself again, but a frustrating experience as a fan and to watch because wasn't a great performance by Atletico despite the result of 4-2, and maybe a very different aspect of what we thought was going to happen on the game itself. So we'll I think we'll talk about the first half and why we got what we got in terms of a lethargic front to back attack and then a very mediocre defense, and then we'll go to the other aspects. So, what do you think, Alex, in terms of this?
Like we discussed this in the preview of the match as well. Like even though it's like Real Valladolid, like who's having a bad time, they're going through a bad season. They are almost relegated as well. They have nothing to play for. It's a very easy match, especially we're playing at home as well. But again, with us, it's never easy, and we saw that in the match itself, where at a point it was getting embarrassing. Like this was a 4-2 win, but even though we scored 4 goals, like I didn't really feel that much happy. Like I didn't feel that much of like happiness. Like it's not like we dominated throughout the 90 minutes. There were times where like Real Valladolid like they scored 2 goals. They haven't scored 2 goals since October. Again, so since October, that's long, and then they come and they score 2 goals against us. So which is, I think, at one point it was embarrassing. I think it was a very, very, if I have to put it in words, like a very dull win, to be honest. But because if we look at like, we just got the penalties, to be honest. Like we got how many penalties we got? Two
Two
penalties.
penalties.
Two
Yeah.
penalties. Yeah. The first time I've seen us getting 2 penalties in a season, by the way. And then I'll talk about the performance of like Griezmann and everyone. Let's just start with the first half itself, which was 2-1.
Mm.
And I think again, I don't know like how we make these defensive mistakes. Like that was such a stupid handball by Long coming on to the near post, you just like I don't know what you're trying to do. Like why you like hitting like this?
Leading with your elbow.
I don't
Oh
understand
God.
about that one. It's a clear penalty and rightfully so. And they got the penalty. Oblak hasn't saved the penalty this season in La Liga, and eventually scores the penalty and 1-0 down. Now that is embarrassing. Losing to a team at home 1-0, like
I
who's
think
all relegated.
yeah, I think that was really bad. I
Yeah,
think even
but
worse than that, though, is the fact that
yeah,
we
true,
didn't do
true,
anything
true.
really in the first 20 minutes.
True. True. So it was like a wake. That goal was like a wake up call. Like, come on, like like you have to wake up. You have to like show something. And then some spark from Giuliano, and then Alvarez was again trying, and Alvarez was pretty decent as well in the game. Uh, Again, the Giuliano Simeone won the penalty. Again, a clear penalty, a stamping on the foot. The second great goal by Giuliano, cutting inside, shooting with left foot. That was a great goal. And pretty much that's it, to be honest. Like, we didn't really create much in the match. And I think Griezmann, at times, like, he was slowing the tempo of the game. I felt like this because, like, whenever he received the ball, instead of like going forward, like, he was going backwards. Like I don't know like what's going on with Griezmann at the moment. Like maybe he's lacking some confidence, or maybe he's going through something. Maybe like his head is not in the right place. And I've seen this as well. When we talk about second half, I'll talk about this. But right now, Julian Álvarez and Griezmann up front, like the combination is not working. And when you talk about the midfield, I think midfield was pretty. They did a decent job. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
I think for me, it the penalty that they got for Valladolid, fine, clear penalty, no problems, right? The real the real frustration I think everybody would have had as a Atletico fan was, well, we just showed a fairly good response to Sevilla in the second half. Koke was in the midfield. Barrios got to play a little further forward. We got to have something interesting. And Barrios, by the way, fantastic game by him. Koke also great game. I love the entire line of midfield that we got in Gallagher, Koke, Barrios, and Giuliano. All had a great game. The frustrating part is a lot of times I got to rewatch the game. A lot of times you could see in the first half, you would see Griezmann come in and almost occupy that space that Barrios was supposed to be playing, but he's distributing from these things. And in doing so, normally throughout any part of the season, you would be like, oh, nice. It would have been just a nice little moment where you would see Griezmann come in, take a little moment of creativity, get Barrios to do these extra. A lot of times, as you mentioned, he would slow down the play unnecessarily. The tempo that we were trying to build just dissipates, and then he would make a bad pass or these decisions. It just didn't work. And Alvarez, as we've seen throughout the season, if he feels a little frustrated because the ball isn't coming to him, he'll come to the ball. And while he does a lot on the ball, it's a little counterintuitive because we want him by the goal and we want him to get those finishing aspects. And nobody else really is going to replace it because Griezmann is again going to be a little too deep, or he's just not making any runs or whatever. So it's like as Griezmann almost gets more on the ball, we get less things happening. The whole coordination kind of breaks down. Gallagher doesn't make the runs because he's not expecting the ball. Barrios doesn't get to touch the ball. Koke is just kind of recycling and just trying to get back the exact same position that he already got us into. And it was like great that we responded to Valladolid, but we should have been winning from the beginning. No disrespect to Valladolid, but we should not be losing at home to Valladolid. We had two chances, maybe before that 20 minutes, and that's it. You had the Barrios double chance, and then you had, I think, one other chance before that. Nothing
I think
crazy.
it was more of like half chances, but like yeah, I agree with this point. Like I've seen this, like even I've seen this. Like if Gallagher is in space, like he'll be because he's a midfielder, like like he'll create space for himself.
Hmm.
Griezmann comes in that space and Griezmann takes the ball, so like the pass doesn't make it to Gallagher, so Gallagher like just keep making these spaces, but he doesn't receive the ball because
Hmm.
Griezmann falls back, he takes that ball, and it happens so many times. I've noticed this so many times. Like the players, like if Gallagher would be open, they would play to him because Griezmann would come and fall into that space and like he'll take the ball and ask for the ball and like then Griezmann will receive the ball. So again, talking about Griezmann, I mean, look, I think I'm not sure about him. Like, how much is he like really focused on the games right now? Maybe because like he's almost touching 35. I think like he's 35 right now, right? 35,
Uh,
34.
35, 34, somewhere around there.
Yeah, like I think 34 is 34. But yeah, anyway, I think Simeone trusts him, which I can understand why because like again, like he's a star player. Let's just say like if something is going to happen, is gonna like there's expectation from him. Like he can make something happen, but like he hasn't scored a goal or like he hasn't given assist in past few games, and like the streak is like going on for a long time, and like you need to reflect actually like do you really need to start him or do you like should drop him, which is a very very tough call for the manager to make, given the fact that Griezmann has given a lot to this team. But anyway, moving on to the defensive thing now. I think like our left hand side, in the first half was again like it was literally zero. It didn't contribute anything. With Longley and Javi Galan, nothing. I think there was just like a slight delay from Galan every time he used to pick up the ball in that final third, in the crossing zone. There was a
Keep in
slight
mind,
delay.
right, Alex? We both me and you have mentioned Galan every even when he was playing well, have this delay and he would just put that cross in a little too late and kill the chance, right? How many weeks have we been saying that now?
Exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like it's a position where heavy investment is needed. There's a
Mm.
recent rumor. We are still interested in David Hansko, and that's a good news to be honest, because like as long they can be like as far as possible from this club, that's much better. David Hansko, I really like the guy. I think
Mm.
he's young as well. He has a good pace as well. He's good with the ball as well, and he has that that what do you call it that passion like going on for the challenges and everything. So David Haskell is a very very good call given the fact that we can actually this time I think we can get him for around 30 to 35 million because last time Fine was asking for a lot more money. But anyway, moving on to the second half, what are your thoughts? First I'm going to let you reflect and then yeah.
I think the second half was it started off really, really strong in the second half. So we come into the second half, we come out, we do a nice set of sequences with on the right with Barrios with Llorente, right, and some good things happen, and then out of nowhere, stupid free kick challenge that really didn't need to happen. They score, go a deflected free kick, and go like just like it's left helpless. I was like, all right, okay, cool. Like, all right. I didn't I almost I think some part of me knew as soon as that free kick happened and I saw Longley give away that yellow, I was like, that's gonna go in, isn't it? Right? I was hoping it wasn't, but I knew it. And then it's like, okay, well, we're drawing to Valladolid at home in the second half, about 50 something minutes in. I was like, all right, well, this isn't great. In comes in, I think Riquelme comes in a little while after that. Sørloth
It
comes
was
in.
it was Riquelme, Sørloth, Linomant, and it was
That's the
Molina coming
first.
on as well.
That's the first three,
First
yeah.
three, first three was I think it was Linomant coming on, Sørloth coming on, and Riquelme coming on. Yes.
Right. So Simeone notices Longway is just having a rancid game, right? Just awful game. You've given Valladolid their only two chances to score the goal, and they've taken the two chances. Props to them, by the way. But you've taken what is effectively one of the teams that could still potentially win the title, and you've put us on the level of the worst team in La Liga. I was like, all right, well, okay. Uh, Next option is we'll put in Lonawan. Didn't really want to play Leno. Like the plan was so clear, right? I could see the plan from the 11. You put out a strong 11. You say, well, I know Longley and Galan have not had a recent, haven't been particularly good in recent games, but they should be more than good enough offensively that by putting them on, we should create enough chances, and then eventually you can put on some of the lesser known, lesser played players like Lamar, like Raquelme, maybe even experiment and put in Jane, give Alvarez a little bit of a rest. It's so clear that that's what it was because of what the 11 was at the start, and it was like, okay, conceding two goals to Valladolid was not a part of the game plan. So yes, Lamar can still come on because he does offer something else. Yes, Riquelme can still come on because he offered, and so a lot, of course. Lenormand wasn't supposed to come on today, right? He was supposed to be on the bench. That was supposed to be the Jane sub. Uh, I'm not even sure if Gallagher was supposed to come off either. Molina probably had to come on just to give that more link up on that right hand side, of which Molina and Raquelme were particularly good on the right hand in terms of creating chances. And it's like we saw the difference between before the subs and after the subs for the second half was like night and day, where a lot of the players that they were replacing, Lenormand, effectively much better than Longley defensively and thing. Sørloth actually having a presence in the game and scoring a goal. He could have scored a second, to be honest, but he had another good chance from Riquelme. Riquelme doing very well on the right hand side, similar to Giuliano, but probably Giuliano had a better game, I think. And then again with Molina having a nice link up and allowing Llorente to take a little more time off the ball and enjoy a little more passive aspect of the game. And Lamar as well, great game. I think you just have to honestly just look back and be like, all right, well, it's a shame that Molina and Lunamon had to play today. I really wish they didn't have to play today. I wish we could have scored a little 4, 5, 6 goals, however much goals we were supposed to score, put on a youngster, enjoy the game, have a nice move on. But that's not what happened. So, what were your thoughts on the second half? Would you think?
I think again it's the same thing. Like the start of the second half was very slow. Again, there is like not much intensity, not much tempo towards the game, and then like all of a sudden like Llorente, I think I can't really blame Longley completely on that one because that was a very hard push from Llorente, and then like Longley just couldn't react quickly. This is where I'll blame him. He just couldn't react quickly, and then he has to like slide in with that tackle and like clear foul, and like you said, like like you could see because the reason why you could see that free kick as a goal was because it was a mistake of Longley. So like you get the like intuition, like like another Longley mistake, it could be another goal, and that's exactly what happened. And so it was another second goal. I think Oblak didn't really had anything to do entire like the entire game, and still he conceded 2 goals, which is quite bizarre. And then I think again after we subbed off, I think Griezmann, I think the tempo increased a little bit. Like Julián Álvarez like starting to like coming in the game. He started to like like move into spaces. Like he started to like create chances here and there. Like this is now what I was talking about. Like the combination of Julián Álvarez and Griezmann is not working anymore. Julian Álvarez right now is playing much better without Griezmann. So let's say like with Sørloth, he's playing much better now. And so like I think we should try this combination in our next game. But moving to the next one, I would say I think we got lucky with the penalty again because like if you see that thing when it was 2-2, if you see that like Llorente was trying to like backflip that ball and like he miscontrolled it. I don't know like what he did, and suddenly he was like, "Oh, it's a loose ball." So like he just reacted, and the defender was late, and we got a penalty. That was a lucky penalty to be honest, because Llorente didn't intend to do that anyway. We got that penalty, and like it's 3-2 again. Like we can't be like like we can't have that safe space because we have to score that second goal to have that safe space. And this is where like we were trying to create chances. Riquelme was very good. Lemar, he came on for 20 minutes. He was much better than Griezmann for the entire 60, 70 minutes. And then even Sørloth contributed more than Griezmann again. Actually, like everyone who came on contributed more than Griezmann. Whether Molina gets a lot of stick from our fans. But look, I would say about Molina is this thing. Like the recent news, if we're getting 35 million for him, I think it's a good deal. But the thing is, like, who do you replace him with? Because Llorente is not a proper right back. Like, honestly, Llorente is very good. But again, like, if Llorente is having one of his off days, like, we need someone to back him up. And we need a good replacement. I think, like, after Trippier, we're not able to get a really good right back. Molina was decent. In his second season, I think Molina was very decent. The second season with us. After that, I think like the quality has dropped a little bit. Yes, but again, like we should not forget that he had his moment in this season as well, with that man of the match against PSG. We all have forgotten that he had a
Mm-hmm.
man of the match against PSG. Like he almost shut down Barcola on that left flank, and then again against Getafe as well. What a beautiful ball to Sørloth. So like there were some moments where Molina was good this season. Again, the thing is like he's not consistent, but again I would say 35 million is a good deal, but if anything below 35, I think we should keep Molina. I'm not really against Molina or anything, but if we really want to get a good right back, we have to go for someone who is a very, very good crosser of a ball.
Hmm.
And moving on to the next one, I would say Lemar again 20 minutes. He was pretty amazing, I would say. There was this one touch from Oblak shoot the ball, and like his touch was like sublime, and everyone applauded that
Yeah.
touch, which was really good to see. And like fans really he gave something to the fans. The thing with Lemar is like he's good. We've seen him. He's been with us for quite a few seasons now. The thing with Lemar is he's not. He's just like him in a situation. Like he's not fit. Or yeah,
Injuries.
injuries. So I think for him, like it's like too late to shine. I would say like it's too late. Like you just have 7 6 games remaining. Like now, like you're coming on. It's just too late now. Same
If
with Riquelme. Same with Riquelme, I would say. Like he had a
I
good
think,
game.
yeah,
Yeah, he had a good game, but it's too late to shine now because like we are past that moment. Like we really need to look forward towards the next season. Okay, and next, I would say, but I think this time in this match we have very very good substitutions. Like the substitutions came on, they impacted the game in a good way, which we haven't seen in the past few games as well. And Sørloth again, I think he was pretty decent coming on as well. Got the goal. He could have had the second goal as well with that amazing cross from Riquelme. Maybe a third as well, but that was a good save from the keeper. And again, Julián Álvarez, I think he was much better in the second half than he was in the first half. After Griezmann went off, I think like he got much better. And who else came on? Molina again, a good game. Lemar, good game. Then Linomad, I think again decent game for how many minutes he came on. And then who else was it?
no, I think you talk about everyone actually.
Yeah, I think pretty well. So Riquelme, Lima, Linomad, Sørloth, and Molina. Yeah, so pretty well. I think like all five of the substitutes, I think they had a decent game. And moving on to the your thing, like some substitutions were forced to make because the situation we were in. It was a 2-2. We really needed to be saved from that embarrassment from Real Valladolid because it would have been an embarrassment like if we got points against Real Valladolid. So Simeone was forced to make these changes. This was a perfect day to bring on some academy players, like to give them some minutes to look forward in the
And
second
yet,
season. But yeah, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. But there will be moments, I think, this season where academy players will get their chance. There will be moments, but again, like it depends on how the players play in that first half as well. Anyway, so we're gonna move to our next topic, which is again same case. We really want to talk about our MVP of the month. So yeah, go on, St. Geeks.
so I was talking to Alex off stream, and I mentioned I feel like we've talked a lot about how bad Longley has been for us in recent weeks. I wanna lay it out for everybody to understand, because I feel like me just saying it is one thing, but another thing to see it, right? So far, Atletico's conceded what, I don't know how many penalties, maybe about 12 penalties roughly. Lona, like, no, probably less than that. I think it's 8 penalties, right? I can go and check it up. But I know for a fact that
Let me check. Wait.
Longley has given us at least four, right?
You can,
Two
yeah,
in
true.
Champions League and two in La Liga. We saw the one
True.
against Real Madrid and then one against Slovan Bratislava, right? In the group stage,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then in La Liga, we got one against Espanyol, a team who had no chances of really scoring
True,
against us.
true.
And then again against Real Valladolid, a team who had no real chances of scoring against us yet again. So it's like, okay, so each time that there's a chance to gain an advantage, he is doing the opposite. He is actively being a nuisance and causing us to lose points and potentially game states. Followed it up by a lot of games where he is actively being a problem for us. Let's say the Barcelona game where we played at home. 2-0 up, 2 goals from nothing, right? both on Longley's side. I say, all right, cool. Possibly a third with Lewandowski, but we move. Sorry, with the last Ferran goal, but we move on. Say, all right, that's a bad set of form. Okay, Legana's set piece, 1-0. Completely misjudges the flight of the ball. His main thing, mind you, one of the things, the bare minimums that we ask for in centre backs. Please defend the corner shots. Completely misses it. Free bullet header against Oblak. Oblak can do nothing about it. We can see that one
Even
goal. We never
even
we lose
against
it.
Barcelona, actually, even against Barcelona and Copa del Rey, the first leg, I think.
Again, another example of another set piece problem, of which
Exactly. And
Atletico
talking
is
about, yeah, I just
never
remember
bad at these.
I
Hmm.
just remember one more. Do you remember the match against again? It was against which team was it? I forgot. It was away at home. It was the last match day in Champions League. I forgot.
PSG.
No. Last away match. It was against I think Slovan Bratislava. We played at home. There's this team we played. I think it was
Oh, you're talking about Salzburg.
Salzburg. Yes, Salzburg. Yes, exactly. They scored
Another
that final
example.
goal. Did you remember that final goal? He like the goalie pursued the ball, and then
Hmm.
Longley was just nowhere to be seen, and the guy just ran, and he just scored with a perfect volley.
Thank you. I almost forgot to mention that. Thank you again. And then he also had the PSG goal. Now, keep in mind, PSG were playing very good, right? So they probably would have gotten it. I think even if that impetus didn't happen, they would have tried to get a goal.
No. I don't think so because that day PSG could have created 100 chances. They wouldn't be able to score because like they
It's
were
one
just
of those
having,
games, huh?
yeah, one of those games exactly. Like we had against Espanyol at home.
And guess who gives them a free goal?
That was long again. Long.
I'm so frustrated because I felt this way at the start of the season where I was like, okay, well, before the last season, I was like, Hermoso's leaving. We have a chance to get an actual left centre back. We don't, we don't. It should have been the first option, right? Left centre back and DM were the two things we wanted desperately. We don't get either of them. So okay, last minute into the transfer window, we get Longley after getting rid of Samu, very promising centre forward who's probably going to go for somewhere between 80 to 100 million in this next summer transfer window. Vermeeren, who finally seems to be catching his toes at RB Leipzig, but he's 20. We'll give him some time, but he's still a very talented midfielder.
Yeah, I don't think Vermeeren was made to be athletic kind
He
of a
wasn't.
player.
He didn't need to come to Atletico. I think that was a mix-up between Buta
Yeah, I don't
and
think like
Simeone.
he. Yeah, I don't think like he was made for athletic. Like I don't think so.
But
But yeah,
again, Santiago Mourinho having a wonderful season at Alaves, actively stopping almost every big. He's been good against us when we played them with the 2-1 victory, where we scored one goal, but it seemed like it's almost impossible to score that second goal because he was just always in the right place, and he always, as soon as for whatever reason, the coach took him off. I don't know why you would take off a centre back, but he took him off, and immediately we scored another goal, which was like, all right, nice, we get a reprieve. Real Madrid, both times, very very good game. Barcelona, also the 1-0 victory that the Barcelona got over them, seemed almost impossible for them to create a chance because, yet again, Santiago Mourinho completely blocking from the central position. No, we have.
talking about Real Madrid, I just remember that goal against us in La Liga as well. Again, that left hand side, Galan and Longley missing the ball completely. Galan couldn't do
Mhm.
anything. Longley again didn't do anything. The ball just went through to Bellingham. Bellingham almost could have tapped in, but again Oblak saved it and then like fell to Mbappe. But yeah, anyway, yeah, continue. Santiago Moreno, yeah.
The point is like what we gave up and what we got was not right because we had some legitimately. So it's like, okay, well, Vermeeren didn't really fit Atletico. We sell him, we get somebody who is similar to him, and we secure that midfield situation, and we don't need to worry about it. We didn't get anybody. Samuel, promising centre forward, having a great season in Porto. We didn't get anybody to replace him. All right, cool. Well, we'll just use that money to get a left-sided centre back? Clearly, no. We get Longley, a guy who has not managed to really track down a club since who knows how long. He's been horrendous against for Barcelona for quite some time now, especially in that big 8-2 loss in the Champions League. 100% on him. And a few other players, obviously. You can't get to 8 goals by him himself. But the defensive display that we saw from Longley in that game was horrific. And I don't think we've seen him particularly do anything in Aston Villa or Tottenham. So I don't know why we decided to go for him. I think he's had his good moments. I think he's had some good passing, but it's not impossible to get a good passer that is also capable of defending. We've seen that with Hincapié in Leverkusen. We've seen that with Hanko. We've seen that even in some Spanish teams here, where we've seen like Yarrick, a very good young centre back for Valencia. We've seen it in other places in Premier League. There are options, is my point. And Longley should not have been close to the number one. He shouldn't have been on the shortlist.
True, like because like when you talk about Longley, like he's been on a downfall. Like for example, Barcelona from Barca he went to Tottenham. From Tottenham again he went to Aston Villa, and then we literally got him back from Villa to back to like to that top level, which I don't think like we should have. But again, like it's Atleti, like we just really go for these options which are free and like like we let Simeone to like manage with these options to somehow get us through. But it is what it is. But I mean, like it's a long ending topic to be honest. Like we can
Yeah.
just go on and on about this. But anyway, talking about this, guys, let us know your opinions in the comment box and let us know what you think about the match against Real Valladolid. And you guys can follow us on Twitter as well or X. You'll find the link in the description. And thank you so much for liking this video and subscribing the channel. And we'll see you guys on to the next match day, the preview of the match. And thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.